What is your view about the electron bonds?
Very powerful telescope, people have found that when the light is passing near the black hole, it gets bent. It supports which principle of Einstein? Special theory of relativity or general theory of relativity?
It is the last day for submission of form for some competitive examination. And when you go out the window, the clerk tells you some testimonials have not been attested. What will you do now?
Please come in.
May I come in, sir?
Come in and have a seat.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Good morning, sir.
Shaurya Arora.
Yes, sir.
That's
Thank you, sir.
And which attempt it is for you?
This is my second attempt, sir.
And personality test?
First one, sir.
First. Good. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much, sir.
So your optional was physics. Your subject is mechanical engineering.
So,
And they will ask you, after so much of technical expertise and all, you still would like to join services?
yes, sir. Most definitely.
Why?
So, my generation is the luckiest to be at a time when India will grow at its maximum. There is no time as lucky as my own, sir. And I generally have a passion and desire to serve the people. When I read about building houses for the poor and universal health coverage, it gives me a genuine happiness. And I want to be part of this process from the inside out, sir, and directly contribute from the inside to nation building. I have a genuine passion and desire for this, sir. And that is why I want to be in the civil services.
Just focus on the person who is asking you question to begin with. No?
Sir.
Yes.
Student of mechanical engineering, in fact, and there are a lot of development on the electrical vehicles,
Right, sir.
electrical vehicles, and the government has recently made a policy about the EVs so that import of vehicles becomes easy. What is the policy now?
The government recently announced a policy in which they mandated that if a company invests around somewhere around 4,000 crore rupees into domestic manufacturing, and for the next 5 years there will be import duty cut. So import duties, which were earlier around 60 to 100%, will now be between 15 and 40%. This is the incentive being given for domestic automobile manufacturing.
Have you heard about Elon Musk?
Yes, sir.
What is his Starlink project?
Elon Musk has launched Starlink, which aims to provide satellite internet connectivity to regions across the world, sir.
Any strategic implications in
So-
recent times?
So, one which comes to mind is that Ukraine was provided with Starlink satellite during the beginning of the war. So, apart from that, satellite internet has the advantages that it can be accessed in remote locations, sir, where traditional telecom may not be available, and across the high seas. Therefore, navies can also use this service, sir.
Mentioned something about grassroots. What games do you play? How come interested in football more than?
All was thoroughly enjoyable.
There was no football in your school? There wasn't?
Unfortunately.
Ball field. Tell me some facts and figures about the Lok Sabha election commencing. Some
You-
facts and figures. And why it's over a protracted period of time for 40. Up to 1st of June. Why it is spilling up to. First, some facts and figures.
And the election commission requires such elongated. There are some states law and order.
Can you take a rough guess at quantum of numbers? How many people are going to be employed for poll duties? Rough idea.
Polling booth.
No, overall, just rough one figure. Give me one figure.
For the election officers and come at a number, sir. I'd have to do the maths for this one. I don't have the exact knowledge, sir. I'm sorry.
10 million. You'll be surprised.
Right, sir.
Such a big number.
Right, sir.
And why could the elections not be announced a little earlier than this?
May I have a moment to think? Sir, I'm not sure why the dates of the elections were announced as they have been said. I do not have knowledge on this topic.
Okay. Because of there was only one CEC left in the commission.
Right, sir.
Though elections, one could have gone ahead with the elections, but there is a problem of propriety.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case of there is any dispute arising and things
Right.
like that. All right.
So-
Israel
Yes.
is wanting to attack Rafah. Rafah,
Yes.
R-A-F-A-H.
Yes.
Huh? So, global allies and the critics are urging the Prime Minister not to do that. Why is it so?
The Gaza Strip has more than 2.5 million Palestinians. 90% of them have been displaced from their homes, sir. The attack from Israel initially started from the north towards the center, and now 70% of the Palestinian population is now in the Rafah area with limited access to humanitarian aid, with no food, clothes, shelter, etc. Therefore, an imminent attack in Rafah would spell a humanitarian crisis, sir, because they would have nowhere to go. This is why the world as a whole is urging Israel to express restraint, sir.
Okay, what is the state of ceasefire? What is the present status between Israel and Hamas?
As far as I can recall, sir, the negotiations regarding the ceasefire during the Ramadan month are currently have not been successful, sir. And negotiators are still trying hard, but as of now, Israel is not willing to commit to a permanent ceasefire. They're only willing to accept a pause in the fighting, whereas Hamas is urging for a complete end to the fighting, sir. This is where the stalemate is.
And what are the reasons for that?
Israel believes that most of the Hamas militants are currently hiding within the civilian populations of Palestine, and therefore their main war objective is to completely eliminate these Hamas militants so that they cannot carry out such an attack in the future.
Okay.
Right.
And what about understanding on exchange of prisoners and the hostages? The Palestinian prisoners,
Yes, sir.
Hamas is looking for them,
Yes,
release of them, they're prisoners.
Yes, sir.
And Israel is looking for release of hostages.
Right.
So what is the issue?
There had been some talks regarding first releasing a tranche of hostages, which would include the elderly, the sick, and the women, for exchange of Palestinian prisoners. But this would have to be coupled with a pause in the fighting as well, sir. And this is where the talks broke down, and therefore we've not seen an exchange happen as such yet, sir.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
thank you very much, sir.
I would request you to focus on me
So,
when you are talking to me, responding to my issues.
surely, sir. Surely.
Acha, tell me, Haryana is supposed to be quite conservative
Yes.
and traditional place, but girls from Haryana are doing very well in many athletics. I don't know about boys, but girls are doing very well.
Yes.
Will you comment on that?
Yes. Yes, sir. The Haryanvi girls have excelled in the field of sports, sir. And despite Haryana being a patriarchal society, one reason could be that the Haryana government really incentivizes sports.
But that is for both boys and girls, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But the amount of scholarships provided and the amount of jobs given allows girls to excel more than the girls in the other states, sir. This is one reason. And secondly, the role modeling which happens. Every village in Haryana has a role model now, someone to look up to. This creates a sort of domino effect in which more girls want to participate and more parents encourage their girls to participate in sports.
Okay. There is a drug, pharmaceutical company's product, of which valuation is more than Tesla's valuation. What is the name of that drug and what is used for?
So may I take a guess on this one, sir?
No.
The name I cannot remember.
Okay,
sir.
forget
Is
about
it related to weight loss?
Yes.
Is the name of the drug fentanyl?
No, the name is Novo Nordisk.
Right. Sir.
It is manufactured in Denmark.
So
Denmark's its valuation is much higher than the GDP of Denmark.
yes, sir.
Anyway, does it have any side effects?
I do not have complete knowledge on this drug.
Don't just say you don't know about it.
So
Tell me, there have been very serious hacking attempts. About 80 crore data sets was hacked from Indian Council of Medical Research.
Yeah.
And similarly, you would have heard about the All India Institute of Medical Sciences.
yes, sir.
As an engineer, what would you suggest? What sort of preparation? What strategy and how technically India should prepare itself?
First and foremost, apart from just a defensive capacity, India must also invest in offensive capabilities in the cybersecurity space, sir. Number one. And number two, there was a recommendation to install a cyber forensic lab, that if cyber attacks such as this happens, we can come down to the root cause of where the weakness was, and also to identify where the attack emanated from, sir. So a cyber forensics lab would help. And finally, sir, I would recommend conducting hackathons across colleges and finding the best talent so that we can invest in better firewall security, invest in better technology to protect our critical assets, sir.
Are the graduates inclined to come to this area?
There was less awareness on this, sir, but from my experience, when I was in college, a newly cropped up club, Cybersecurity Club, was formed, and a lot of students enrolled for that. So this is a new field, sir, but I feel in colleges in the coming years, this will take up, sir, because there is an eminent need.
Another new field. Do you know whether there is any MTech program in semiconductor technology fabrication? And if yes, which institute has it? Don't bother.
Right.
Tell me, what is wrong with Pakistan?
We have seen that Pakistan uses terrorism as a state policy, especially with its neighbors.
No. See, that is, we are worried about that.
Yes, sir.
But in general, what is wrong with Pakistan? Sorry to interrupt you.
So there are two things which come to mind, sir. One is structurally, the army is very powerful in Pakistan and overshadows the civilian government. So that is one structural problem. And number two, sir, the economy and inflation rates are not in control in Pakistan, sir. These are two major issues right now.
And what is the immediate issue?
This would be the
instant issue which is coming up before the new government.
Is this in the context of political instability or election rigging?
Political stability, you have seen the elections have been conducted, government has been installed.
So
now what is it they have first in their agenda?
May I have a moment to think so?
Sure. Okay, don't bother.
So,
don't
thank you, sir.
Okay.
You have any idea about the model code of conduct once the elections have been notified?
Yes, sir. The model code of conduct comes into force as soon as the elections are notified. And this provides a framework in which free and fair elections can be conducted. It places restrictions on announcements of schemes the government can make, and also makes safeguards such that government cannot use the government machinery in favor of the election, sir.
When was it introduced for the first time in the Indian election scenario?
Sir, I'm not aware of this number.
Right. You must have heard about electoral bonds.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen to my question very carefully.
So,
politics apart,
so
what is your view about the electoral bonds? I hope you are able to appreciate my question. Politics apart.
Yes, sir.
We are not getting into whether one set of politicians say something, so other said something else, So, but what is your view on this?
I will give my completely non-political view on this, sir. Before the electoral bond scheme was introduced, most donors who wanted to maintain privacy would use cash, because any amount above 20,000 had to be declared, sir, the donor. And therefore, there was a system of black money. Yes, the electoral bond scheme is against the right to privacy of the citizens to know. And yes, sir, there could be a quid pro quo, but it was better than the previous system, in the sense that now if someone wanted to make a donation, instead of using black to maintain donor anonymity, they could at least have a mechanism. Though not perfect, it was better than the previous system, sir. And we could improve it further, such as the Supreme Court said electoral trusts are one better alternative. But I feel that it was better than the previous mechanism, sir. And there is a threat that now to maintain donor anonymity, people will have to again use cash, because any amount above 20,000 will have to be declared after this, sir.
You have been seeing the data, in fact, about how much has come through that, which party has got that, how much the party has been given.
So the majority.
the the biggest industrial houses, the Tatas, the Birlas, the Adanis, the Ambanis, they don't figure in that. How do you explain that?
At this moment, since the data has not come out exactly, so it would be mere speculation. But I would like to maybe present in front of you two possible reasons, sir. Number one, maybe these donations came in between 2018 and 2019, for which the data has not been released by the SBI, sir. And secondly, there are some allegations that maybe shell companies have been used. These could be two reasons, sir.
Now, you've been a student of science, in fact,
So-
and physics has been your option.
Yes, sir.
The SBI say that it will take a lot of time in order to link the donation with the recipient.
Right, sir.
What suggestion would you have given to SBI so that they would have been able to come up with the data immediately? So that this linkage can be immediately done.
So we live in an era where digital eKYC is there. But I'm not aware of the technical details. But the current issue with linking is that the alphanumerical code, which is required to link the data and the donor sets, is in a transparent, you need UV light, and it is in different silos across different branches. I would use artificial intelligence to speed up the process. If it takes many man hours, then we have machine which can convert image to text and use such technologies to fast track the process and ensure that we can do the linking as early as possible.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Shaurya,
So,
one situation for you.
Yes.
It is the last day for submission of form for some competitive examination.
So.
And when you go at the window, the clerk tells you some testimonials have not been attested. What will you do now?
so my form is incomplete with the attestation.
Yes.
May I have a moment, sir?
And it is the last day.
So, number one, I would speak very kindly to the clerk and ask him what legal options do I have left at this moment. Would it be possible for me firstly to make sure I can get these attestations completed in time and return? Would that be possible, sir?
So he's returned the form to you.
Yes, sir.
So now,
Would it be possible to get digital signatures or attestations for these? I would inquire from the concerned departments if it's not physically possible to move these files. That would be my first attempt, sir.
it's a hard copy,
Right, sir.
a form like this, and he's returned this to you.
Yes, sir.
And it is the last day.
If he's following the due process of law and standard SOPs, then I would not put the blame on him, sir. I would make sure that I have to fulfill my shortcomings. And of course, I would try and see if there's no other option available. I would see if I could talk to a senior, file for an appeal, make an attempt to explain my situation, why this error could have happened, and try to find a common way forward, sir.
Will you not quickly take the form, run, get the testimonials attested and submit?
Most probably, sir.
No. You still have whole day.
Yes, sir.
This is the last day, not the last 5 minutes left for the window to close.
I was under the impression that if I have to go to Mumbai for my IIT Bombay attestation or such a thing, that would not have been possible, sir. But if definitely the attestations are possible in the same office or in the same city, then I would have definitely conducted it, sir.
Okay, now give me the answer again.
Yes, sir.
You're in the same city.
So
As the last day, now what will you do?
I would identify which attestations are pending. And I would-
Only one.
Right, sir. And I have the full day left with me, sir. So I would definitely rush to the concerned department and present my case to him and explain to the department that it is the last day, and therefore seek a fast tracking of the attestation, sir, and return back in time to submit the form.
30-second answer. Take the form, get the attestation done, submit. No?
Yes.
Bas. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Tell me, what is the distinction between white dwarf, neutron star, and the black hole?
So, at the end of a star's life, it usually collapses. If a star has a mass greater than 1.4 times the mass of the sun, then it will collapse either into a neutron star or a black hole, sir. If it is less, such as the mass of our sun, it will become a white dwarf. A neutron star is a star in which all the electrons and protons have compressed under pressure, gravitational pressure, to become a neutron. And a black hole is even denser than that.
So all the material in neutron star is neutron only, nothing else?
The core of the star is made of neutrons, sir, but I'm not very sure of the entire
I mean,
star.
it is 100% on fine. Proceed.
A black hole is even denser than a neutron star, in which the core of the black hole is termed to be a singularity with infinite density, which has such a high gravitational pressure and attraction that even light cannot escape it, and therefore we call it a black hole, sir.
Okay. With a very powerful telescope, people have found that when the light is passing near the black hole, it gets bent.
Right, sir.
It supports which principle of Einstein? Special theory of relativity or general theory of relativity?
This would support general theory of relativity, because standard theory does not take into consideration gravity.
Special theory
Yes, sir.
doesn't take into consideration gravity.
Yes.
And what are gravitational waves?
The gravitational waves are ripples in the space-time framework of our universe, which usually take place when there is an acceleration of a large mass. So this
Such as?
Maybe collision of two black holes.
Right. Okay. We'll give you some feedback. This whole interview will be given to you, and you can have a look at it.
So,
and decide for yourself where you have done very well
sure, sir.
and where you have done not so well.
Yes.
You are the best judge.
Yes.
Only a small point. You see, I don't know, some coaching institutions might be telling you that you keep shifting your nazar here and there.
So,
but we recommend that you focus on the person who asked you the question,
right,
whom you are responding.
right.
More so because UPSC will be a very small cable.
So,
and there will be 4 members sitting.
right,
You will be in a much smaller place than what you see here.
right.
You will be given only 20-25 minutes in all,
Yes.
on an average, and it's better to say straight if you don't know a subject.
Yes.
Okay. Then when I asked you about the civil service, why civil services, you first spoke of this nation, service to the nation. Fine, everybody is doing a service to the nation. It is not only the civil service people, that you have to realize.
Right. Right.
So it is not only the civil servants who are fortunate or who are privileged to serve the nation. Everybody is doing that job. So you have to draft your response accordingly. And there is, of course, a question of career building. Then there is a security of the tenure.
Yes.
All these factors do count. That is the second issue. And thirdly, a small point. You see, the expression on your face was that of too much happiness. I mean, you can carry a bit of smile. I don't know what my other colleagues would feel. But you have to be slightly serious and with a small smile on your face. It is not as if you have come to the interview for celebration.
Yes.
And these are small things, but it may be a positive thing also eventually. But I feel that you can have a normal posture, not too happy or not too serious also, just a normal person. These are on subjects you have done well, and Your expression also is good. I would invite my other colleagues to give feedback.
Thank you, sir.
Shaurya,
Yes, sir.
bowing was too elaborate. You know, just to give you a demonstration, as you entered, I mean, you bow like this,
Sir.
not required.
All right.
ठीक है ना?
Sir.
And like sir was bringing out aptly, there was a little feeling of that you were being ostentatious. You know, a little
I don't know the meaning of that.
थोड़ा सा ऐसे लगा कि don't mind the word.
No, sir.
Very rough word. Ostentatious is a very refined word, but just amounting to, in crude language, like showing off a little.
So,
Though you're not showing off, I know. You're trying to put up your best.
Yes.
थोड़ा सा ऐसी फीलिंग नहीं आने देना.
बड़ा चला कर
थोड़ा सा
थोड़ा बताएंगे yes.
मतलब कि बहुत ज़्यादा फ्लावरी करके एक
Right.
सेंटेंस को बनाना और थोड़ा सा बॉडी लैंग्वेज के साथ सिंपल रहिए. दैट विल अपील टू द पीपल बेटर, है ना?
Jeez.
Tie could be slim tie. Slim tie means something like this, not more than even smaller, 1.5 inch, 2 inches.
Right. Sir.
Plain, solid color, no design.
Okay, sir. Yes.
ठीक है?
Yes. Sir.
And socks could be black,
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir.
no design,
Sure, sir.
or maybe matching with the suit, whatever you're wearing.
Right, sir.
And shoes, you may carry a piece of cloth in your
Yeah,
pocket.
Yes. Yes.
आने से पहले थोड़ा सा
हाँ,
वो कर सकते हैं. And bowing part I've already mentioned. Bowing नहीं करना है.
All right, sir.
और जैसे आप बैठे हुए एकदम चेयर से भी आगे आके ज़्यादा एक वो नहीं करना, elaborate action हो जाता है.
Okay.
Keep seated, yes sir करते रहो, ऐसे ऐसे आने की जरूरत नहीं है.
All right, sir.
ठीक है?
ठीक है.
I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Don't mind it.
No, sir.
थोड़ा सा वो निगाह में आने लगता है.
जी, sir.
है ना? ये चीज़ें निगाह में आने लगती हैं.
जी, sir.
Though your content was very good. ठीक है?
Sir.
Well done.
Okay.
So yeah, there are a couple of things I would like to mention, and perhaps I expected, sir, you'd be addressing that. Like he stood and he bowed before everybody.
Each one of us.
एक को तो आपने अच्छे से कर दिया. The chairman, you know, you wish the chair, and if there's a lady in the board,
Yes.
then first wish the lady and then the chair.
Exactly.
Am I correct, sir?
Yes.
Am I correct, sir?
I would
So,
suggest that.
Yeah.
Right, sir.
Lady
First.
right?
Okay.
Now this is number one. And then you just nod, just अपने आंखें यहाँ से वहाँ घुमा लो, rather than wishing each and every person.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, sir.
This is number one. Number two has already been explained by sir also, by General sir also. That don't, it's not that we don't want you to feel happy. You should be happy about it, but it should not get too much reflected because it's a serious business.
Yes.
And governance is a very serious business.
Yes. Sir.
It's a very serious business. You need to appreciate.
Yes.
It's a serious business. Now, we expect you are an intelligent candidate. Let me tell you, very well aware of the facts, figures, etc. But perhaps the way I thought about you, that you'll be able to connect the dots, I think there are issues. When is the interview, by the way?
1st April, sir.
1st April. चलो अभी भी है 10-12 दिन टाइम है.
Sir.
So connecting of dots is very important, you know.
Right.
And listening to the question intently is also very important because see, now sir asked you a very interesting question about, let me, sir, permit me to reiterate this, to address this issue. And perhaps you were not at all prepared. Because you being very intelligent sometimes makes you very complacent also. अरे मैं तो जवाब देगा, मैं तो बड़ा smart हूँ. Perhaps you had not prepared it the way, okay, I want to do service to the nation, other things, you know, nation building and all those things you started talking about. Now this nation building will take you to some other areas and other things also.
Right.
So have a very balanced, prepare it well. Don't try to say off the cuff, right?
Right.
Because once you work on it, then you will have the answer. I mean, there's nothing as a cut and dried solution for anything, nothing.
Yes.
We just want to know as to why you want to do it. Now, is it, it's a second attempt at a first interview. Are you working somewhere?
No, sir.
You're not working because you passed out in the year 2022.
Yes.
Right, you can easily explain that, right? Now, coming to the connecting of dots, I cautioned you when I was asking you a very sensitive issue on electoral bonds. But I also found that you're lacking in data and lacking in information. Perhaps you need to read your newspapers very thoroughly.
Right.
Same thing happened when perhaps the sir asked you about the data pertaining to elections.
Yes.
Now, these are the things which should be patapat, nothing
Yes.
that you don't have to think, as to how many candidates. Now at least every day it's been debated. Every day it's been there.
Yes.
Model code of conduct. Every day now. These are the burning issues, right? I'm just giving an example. In fact, I asked you about Elon Musk. I also started asking you about the things, and you by and large you answered well. But then again, Neuralink, etc. But I still feel the answers could have been much better. Not about Neuralink, other things. He knows the things, but perhaps I think in your case, your overconfidence is creating a bit of problems, because in that also, did I ask you something about chip manufacturing? He said no, I did not.
No,
ask.
he did.
No, I did not ask you. But then other areas that you were able to answer, obviously you need to brush up. So you need to brush up these things, And the only observation which of course all of us are sharing is your overconfidence should not let you down. So now what I'll suggest in your case, although I need not have suggested in your case, but it needs, whatever the issues are, you prepare, have some, see there are hardly 20, 30, 40 issues. So prepare them on you take out a notebook or take out sheets of paper, take the issue, define the issue. So take the issue, define the issue, pros and cons this way and that way, and what is your point of view. Like electoral bonds also, there's a lot of debate going on. Alphanumeric, you answered well. It is very easy because if the alphanumeric codes would have been there, they could easily be linked, not an issue. They could have asked for PTM also. PTM is also for finding a lot of problems, because they perhaps did not have the scientific intervention and the technical intervention they did not have, because of which they are in the soup. It would easily have been addressed. So once you read through the editorials and read through the views of different people who write in the newspapers, and especially which newspaper do you read?
The Indian Express.
Indian Express, yes, Indian Express and something of the Hindu also. But I'll always prioritize Indian Express over this thing.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of interesting views are coming up. When we start talking about this thing, about electoral bonds, and then of course, the issues are totally different, in fact, Ultimately, it devolves from electoral reforms. We have made a system by which money is coming into politics in a major way. So, no money, no politics, and nobody wants to reform.
Right. Yes.
Nobody wants to reform. In fact, it's not so difficult. In fact, if you hear about T.N. Session, and he famously said that it would not even take 15 minutes for the Parliament to pass an act, which can dismember politicians with bad records. The role of money and muscle can be taken care of by single legislation. Nobody wants to do it.
Right.
All of a sudden, we are realizing you don't have to delve into so much of analysis.
Yes.
The names of the bigger the major houses are not there. All of a sudden, we are realizing it's not even Tata. Let's forget let's get out of the controversy because I said politics apart. So the board expects you to be very, very honest about those things. Because they're also. That's why I said, listen to me intently.
Yeah.
Politics apart.
Right.
Now you're an informed citizen. Now what do you do? How do you go about it? So there's some other way of funding also. And then you started, okay, it's always good to take what the government says. I'm not asking you to become anti-government,
Right.
But at the same time, you need to have balance.
Yes.
And there's so many things. So perhaps if you could incorporate those things in the argument, rather than trying to say, now this is a better means. If this was so good, the Honorable Supreme Court would have said, okay, well done. No issues at all. Go ahead with it. So try to understand. So see that. So try to link. They say they join the dots. Try to understand and appreciate the issue well. Try to read the newspapers well. And I would recommend, you are a bright candidate and you're intelligent. I would say intelligent candidate. That is how I sum you up. Prepare those. don't be carried away by your intelligence. You can easily do it, because I was just seeing mechanical engineering, and then of course all of a sudden you are opting for physics. In fact, normally mechanical engineers would refrain from. So I can understand. You have the capacity. Anything जहाँ पे आप करोगे वही आप अच्छा करोगे बैठ करके है. But then उस अच्छा करने के लिए methodical होना पड़ता है. I've seen very bright people delving into mediocrity.
Yes.
When the career thing comes up, and very mediocre people, they tend to rise very high in the survey, and the same will happen in services also.
So, yes.
I hope you are getting the message.
Yes, I'm getting it.
आप लिख कर 10 दिन तैयारी करो, 10 जो भी points हैं करके, so that when you go over there, the major point, there has to be what you call a hierarchy of answers. Hierarchy of answers. Hierarchy of points. Go by the hierarchy. पहले दूसरे में ही मामला खत्म हो जाता है. You know things.
Yes.
And for a person of your intellect, आप फट हो जाए, कुछ नहीं, केवल आपको उसको अरेंज करना है, रीअरेंज करना है, permutation, combination, but do a bit of it.
Yes.
I would advise you.
Yes.
I'd advise you.
You want to ask something
You want to
from
ask
us?
Just quick, 2 small questions, if you don't mind. So, firstly, in the previous interviews, I was said that you're not confident at all. So that's why I thought I'll maybe make my voice louder. I don't know. I'm very sorry if it appeared overconfident, and I just wanted your opinion on how I can make myself look less confident.
I think my colleague has given you a good, elaborate description of how you should appear.
Right.
The gist is that don't appear too happy, and don't appear too serious also.
Yes.
So be normal. And only small thing was that something is asked, some question is asked, you don't have to repeat the question. Just give straight answer.
So,
and as my colleague said, your priorities, your 3 points, most important, less important, less important.
So,
they should come in that order.
right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And one last question, sir. This question of why do you want to be an IAS officer? So I tried various. When I said that I want to serve the people, so I was given the feedback that this is too much of a cliche, or
it is.
It's not genuine. It looks like you're fake.
Get your question. It is too much of a cliche depending on how you put it.
Right. Sir.
And you said you want to serve the nation, so I give you the feedback. You have to be. You have to make it sober.
Right.
But you have to draft it yourself. You see, everybody gives his own version of why he wants to join civil service.
Yes.
So your own version, your own draft will be the best.
Right.
Nobody can guide you into that.
Yes.
And it is better you are not guided, you make it yourself.
But you would advise me to stick on the points of serving the marginalized sections, and would you prefer to address this aspect?
It has to be an intelligent combination of your career graph,
Right.
the service to the poor people, service to the nation, and being a very diverse service.
Yes.
Being an IAS officer, IPS officer, or even foreign service officer,
Sure.
It gives you very diverse opportunities.
Right.
Other services do not give those opportunities.
Yes.
The customs and central excise, for example, it will be a very, though things keep changing and keep changing very fast these days. But the diversity in IAS and IPS, IFS also are quite diverse.
Right.
The opportunities are quite diverse.
Sir, allow me to intervene. In fact, his father has been a software consultant. In fact, and they are for Haryana.
Yes.
You can include a lot of other things also, despite the fact that I've been an engineer and I've come from that pedigree is there, but I want to try something else also.
Yes.
Because the moment you start talking in terms of service to the nation, etc., it becomes not only cliche, it becomes extremely cliche. In fact,
Yes.
And then you can see what are the functions that normally a civil servant does.
Yes.
In terms of implementing the government policy, in terms of what you call executing harmony and what you call assembly, law and order, and all these the development. In fact,
Yes.
every day the Prime Minister is talking about development.
Yes.
So something you can merge. That has given you the right thing, because you have to take a position. In fact, so many things, and then you are from Haryana, and So all these things can be merged, Peep, deep, 1, 2, 3, 4. You make it, and then of course, don't try to give an answer off the cuff there.
Yes.
Think about that issue and try to. And Sir rightly spoke about diversity. In fact, the opportunity that will come up in civil service would be manifold.
One last question, sir. Just 30 seconds. Sir. In my hobbies in the DAF, I'd made a mistake, sir. I'd written Indian football and grassroots development, because I'd intended to write its grassroots development. So in the hobby,
let it go as such. You have made a mistake. You have made a mistake. If somebody points it out, just point it out there.
So it would not be rude to clarify, like I mentioned to sir. Would that be fine?
Nothing. When they point it out, if they point it out, you just explain that time.
Right.
So don't keep this in your mind at all.
Yes.
We'll conclude because
Yes,
there is
yes,
a
sir.
colleague of yours waiting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for taking up the time.
Thank you. All the
very much.
best.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.